Hello Spooners, welcome back to yet another episode of Media I Consume. Today we're looking at the 3rd of January 2026. As always, spoiler warning for all the things I discuss. The timestamps for the things are down below. So if there's anything like, oh, what's he going to say, skip ahead. Yeah, I'm not going to, you're adults. Anyway, let's start with the YouTube I watched. I watched the SmackDown highlight. I'm a wrestling fan. Shock. But I haven't got the time to watch 3 hours of SmackDown and 3 hours of Raw. So I watched the little 10-minute highlights WWE channel post on YouTube. I then went on a bit of a binge of the Jack the Jobber channel. A former Cultaholic member. I watched his video on, I think it was one of the uncensored, but the one with a triple cage. It was called The Most Overblown Wrestling Stipulation of All Time. It was very fun. I like the way he does that series. Then I watched his little video on everything wrong with John Cena's WWE retirement tour. And the only thing I disagree with what he said is that the AJ match wasn't probably one of the best ones. Like, it just was. I can get that it's just, oh, we're going to just do other people's finishers and, you know. But I thought it was very, very good. Then I watched his top 10 wrestlers of 2025. Only issue I ever have with lists like that is I can only watch WWE because, you know, I'm not spending £40 a pay-per-view on AEW because I haven't got £40 to spend a pay-per-view on AEW. And then I watch his end-of-year awards. And again, you know, obviously I'm aware of what's going on in AEW. I'm not stupid, you know, but I can't be like, oh yeah, here are great matches and whatever, because I can't watch them because it's like £40 a go. And then to end off yesterday's YouTube consumption, I watched the Cultaholic video, the story of Triple H, Kane and Katie Vick, the worst wrestling storylines ever. And if you, again, I recommend you go and watch that video if you're a wrestling fan and you haven't heard of Katie Vick. But if you aren't a wrestling fan, don't watch it. Katie Vick is maybe one of the worst things, one of the worst stories WWE have ever done. I mean, it's up there with distasteful. And it's not like one of those ones where it's aged badly, like, oh no, it's the big Russian man versus the Hulkamania, whoa, you know, because of the Cold War, or even earlier than that when you had everyone fighting the German, people called like Von stuff. That's why they're called the Von Erichs. I bet you didn't know that. It's just terrible. But again, link in the description, I'd go and watch that. Let's get into the music I listened to. The music I listened to. So in the shower, I listened to Wait Until Tomorrow, Little Wing, and If 6 Were 9, all by Jimi Hendrix. Personally, I think If 6 Were 9 might be one of his best songs, you know. And then I listened to the album Surrender by the Chemical Brothers, and here's what I thought of it right after listening to it.
Much better album from the Chemical Brothers. Finally, some songs of theirs I like. Obviously, I like Hey Boy, Hey Girl. It's not as heavy. They're not as heavy as I thought they were electronically. Not bad. And Let Forever Be, which I think one of the Gallagher Bellends sing. But yeah, I give it 2 out of 11, which is, I think, 18.18%.
Isn't that a fun opinion I have? Let's get on to the book. Similar to the day before, I'm writing an essay at the moment. That's why the consumption is a little bit on the low. Because essay is important. So I'm flicking through books. I'm reading manuscripts, not manuscripts. I'm reading books, finding quotes, but they don't count. I wish I wasn't doing it. If I had my ideal world, I would not be reading a book from 1862 discussing Oliver fucking Cromwell. But I did read chapter 44 of Dice Man. I like the way Dice Man's written. I highly recommend the book. I like the fact that this chapter was similar to a previous chapter where it's like the speech, the two people talking in their therapy session. I thought it was very interesting. Let's get on to the TV. So I watched Traitors again. Good episode. Major spoilers. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. So if you've not seen Traitors yet, pause it, go watch Traitors and come back. But anyway, I thought insanely fast they caught Hugo. But he shouldn't have said anything at breakfast. Why would he make such a big thing about it? Dickhead. So that's fun. Them two are definitely going to get sussed out because they spent so much time at that fucking picture that people are like, well, okay, obviously the picture's changed. That's strange. Also, because they did it, they're now going to find out who the secret traitor is. Which I guess kind of makes sense. They got Hugo fucking, what, night 3? This is season 4, episode 3. So yeah, so episode 3. So night 3, I believe. Second banishment? No? Maybe? I don't know. A very early banishment. The earliest ever. Which I didn't believe. I thought it was that girl's last traitors, not celebrity traitors. But yeah, they're gonna just meet the secret traitor. So what's the? It's kind of pointless. But I believe it's the old Welsh woman. I can't remember her name, and I'm not gonna Google it. But you know who I mean if you're watching the trailers. Anyway, this has been the media I consumed on the 3rd of January 2026. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and consume me